Welcome to the PawnSacrifice channel and part 24 of the Porsche 924S build. This week I am going to be picking up exactly where I left off last time, which is making an adapter to connect this oversized, I think it was a VR6 or V6 something throttle body to the original 1.8T intake manifold. The holes don't line up, so I need to put a plate on, and this is where I got to last time. I'm now basically going to be spending a lot of time on the die grinder, going through and making the holes bigger, just to try and accommodate that and just sort of hopefully move it down out of the way of the bonnet a little bit. So I'm going to be doing that first of all. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing after I've finished that. So hopefully that won't be too painful, just a lot of noise as I get through it. And then we'll figure out what we're going to do next. Back to this. Okay, so that's the start of it. So where I need to go around that whole circle there and just basically flatten that out so that it comes and meets on this side here, which seems to be going okay at the moment. It's going to be a really long process, I think. Making reasonable progress this morning, if somewhat slow. The circle that I'm working to here is the original shape, and that's going to need to be bored out a bit. I am going to stop filming here. Obviously I need to carry on. I'm moving over to the air-powered die grinder now. The drill has just died, so oh, no, just to embarrass me. Yeah, I mean, to all intents and purposes, this is now dead. This is probably about 4 or 5 years old now, which is pretty impressive. So that's been just die grinding away for probably the best part of an hour and 20 minutes or so now. So yeah, use non-stop to kill it. I'm going to pop that back onto charge and get the noise machine going, and I'll be back with you later on. The next element in all of this is the intake manifold. Essentially the hole that this connects to is a lot bigger, so it's about that sort of size, the inlet. This is my original attempt at making this and then realising there's no way I was going to be able to bolt everything together, so it's that sort of size. What I have just realised is I can use this as a template. Because of I don't know how much you can see inside there, but because of the shape of the inside, I'm gonna unfortunately have to grind this back rather than just cutting straight through, because well, actually I might have a look. Actually, I might even be able to cut through a lot of this. And then just grind it back where necessary. So there was a slight change of plan there, switched to the hole saw and made a beautiful hole, which I've just rounded out now. So that's all set. There's a lot of clearance there. There's still quite a bit of work to be done. I'll just show you this so you can see actually there's quite a lot that needs to be cut back. So I'm not looking forward to that lengthy process on getting that through. I suspect there's probably a way that I could have done this a bit easier, but I am where I am, so I'm going to proceed accordingly. So this is the earlier mistake, so I'm just going to mark this round here, just so that gives me the position that I'm going to be working to. Right, that's starting to take a bit more shape, and the die grinder is doing a good job. I am going to get on it with some flap wheels. I'm just waiting for those to arrive, so I'm going to give it a quick waz with the air sander or finger sander. Okay, so with this side I've just opened put the throttle body on, opened the butterfly, and that's given me the line that I need to grind out to. On this side it's a bit more difficult because I can't get in behind in the intake manifold, so it's going to be out with the nail varnish again, carefully lower that down into position and just get it bolted down, and then that will give me the line that I need to grind back to. Everything's progressing quite nicely. We'll have a proper look at how everything lines up, but I'm quite happy with the way that this is shaping now. Some surface scratches and what have you, which I'll need to take off before it's finally done, but I've now marked this up to get everything cut. Essentially this is the larger side, so what I'll do is cut the top line from the manifold side, and then everything else will be taken off from what I'm going to be doing from the throttle body side. So given the problems that I have with the bandsaw with this width, I'm going to make a mess and use the angle grinder just to cut this down to size. Right. Almost there. I just want to tidy up the surfaces a bit with some of the scratches on it, so I am just going to give it a quick mop up with that. So there we go. The surface isn't quite as I would like, but let's have a look and see. Light on this camera is terrible. It would go that way round, so the air comes in here, triumphant speeds, and warmth straight up into the intake. So we've got the countersunk bolts there and there, then the intake manifold goes over the top. There's going to be a slight disruption here in terms of airflow. Hopefully I'm not going to get any upset fluid dynamics people having a go at me, but yeah, that's looking pretty good. I'll have a look and see if I can get a shot side by side so we can see the sort of comparison in the hole size for the centre from what that's been born out of. There's the back of it, and as I said, I'm gonna do something here to feed the cable through to the throttle body, but I'm just not quite sure what yet. I do need to get a cable ordered up, so let's just mount it on the different phases and see how that looks. Right, so there's the adapter on. Looks quite nice, I think, actually. Not that it needs to look nice. So that's the first bit of it, and so actually hopefully we can see in there, that's nice, level, pleased. And then there we go. And cut the light. And there, nice bit of airflow all the way through. Very pleased. And there we have it. I have a throttle body adapter from that big block of aluminium that I started with. Now whittled it down to this. This took a hell of a long time, far longer than I was ever going to film. It's just a case of doing what you can to get the hole as big as possible to start with. In fairness, I could have gone a lot bigger than I did, and then die grinder, which is quite aggressive to get rid of metal fairly quickly. Although the finger sander did a really good job, I was quite impressed with how that went. And then the flap wheel, different grits of those all served their purpose, all did well. Obviously enlarged the opening on the intake manifold, so that all now, as we've seen, actually flows through nicely. And I've gone from, let me just do the sizes on these to be sure. So as these things are often in inches, let's do the external diameter is 2.5 inches, and I've now gone to 3 inches. So that's quite a bit of decent capacity. With a lot of the things that I'm doing now, how much of this I'm going to benefit from straight away, I don't know, but it gives me options. It means that I'm not having to do this and move everything around later on when I want to add a bit more horsepower. So I have no idea what I'm going to do next. Well, what I'm doing next is a lot of editing, and then car-wise I'm not quite sure. I've got a few new bits to mount. I've got some stuff that I need to get ordered for exhausts and whatnot, but yeah, for metal making shenanigans, quite pleased with that, and it's not overly heavy. The final bit I just need to sort out is for the cable. As soon as I get that bought, I might just try and buy the original Volkswagen one and see if that fits on the throttle side. It seems that this side's the same, so I'll give that a crack. I'm just not quite sure how that's mounted, so I'll tackle it then. But as always, thanks for watching, and hopefully catch you again soon. Cheers.